Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and on this video this evening there is lots to negotiate about. I am going to be giving you the latest news regarding Paul Pogba, also going to be giving you the latest news regarding Ighalo, and also going to be talking with you about tonight's match, Chelsea and Manchester United. But we'll delve into the topic about Ighalo and the Chelsea-Man United game a bit, later on in the video. The first topic I'm gonna start with is Paul Pogba. So Ole Gunnar Solsjkaer has come out and said, Paul Pogba, may never play again for Manchester United. And of course he has said, he has basically, said that Paul Pogba, is desperate, to get back playing again, and he's facing a battle, to be back fit. Because obviously, Paul Pogba has not played since Boxing Day, and he hasn't started a game from the start since September. Now, obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did reveal out, I think it was last month, that Paul Pogba was expected back sometime this month, but now that is not the case. Paul Pogba is recovering well from his injury. Obviously, I think it's like a month now since he had, the surgery on his ankle. But, the earliest we are looking at Paul Pogba being back is for the Manchester derby in a couple of weeks' time. So Paul Pogba's obviously going to miss the game tonight. He's also going to miss the both legs against Club Brugge. He's also going to miss the Watford game. And, of course, he is going to miss the Everton game at the beginning of next month. So Paul Pogba may never ever play again for Manchester United. This is stemming from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because Solskjaer, has refused to comment on, Paul Pogba's future. But, we are very convinced that Paul Pogba is going to be leaving the football club this summer anyway, because he's already revealed that he's going to be leaving this summer. He has told his teammates as Paul Pogba, that he's leaving Manchester United this summer. I do believe he's probably going to be making a return back to Juventus, because Pogba did endure 4 good years in Turin with Juventus. But the vast majority of his performances at Man United since he rejoined back in 2016 have been totally comparison. Pogba's only played 8 games this season. His appearances have been limited due to the injuries, of course, that Paul Pogba's had. And Paul Pogba has endured quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player. Now, obviously, Man United as well were also very infuriated, with the comments that Paul Pogba's agent Mini Raiola came out with regarding the player. Mini Raiola came out and said, he has held talks with Juventus over the potential move. He also said it's very likely that Paul Pogba will leave Manchester United this summer if Manchester United do fail to qualify for the Champions League. And he also reiterated and said Juventus is his preferred destination. Now, obviously, reflecting back last summer, Paul Pogba was relentlessly linked with a move to Real Madrid. His move to Real Madrid didn't materialise though, reflecting on the substantial amount we put on him, because we revealed last summer that we wanted around 150 or was it 160 million. Real Madrid were not determined to pay this, so this is why his move didn't materialise in that. But Paul Pogba did reveal last summer that he wanted to leave Manchester United. He did say he was seeking for a new challenge, and he publicly admitted that he wanted to leave the football club and that. But yeah, United fans have got different perceptions on Pogba. Some United fans, would like to keep Pogba, and some United fans, would be happy for him to go. Obviously, if we can get Jack Grealish and James Maddison in the summer, then obviously, we can afford to let Paul Pogba go. And, we'll generate a substantial amount for his departure. I think we've quoted out that we want around £130 million for him this summer. But obviously, we want to get more than what we paid for him, because we paid £89 million in from Juventus. And of course, he is our most expensive signing. Also, with us getting rid of him as well, on the other hand, it will free up our wage bill a bit more, because, Paul Pogba is on 290 grand a week at the club. So in that aspect, he is one of the highest paid players. So I think in the summer, he will go to Juventus. His agent Mini Raiola also said Italy is like a second home for him. Juventus reportedly were planning to put around the 125 million package deal in for him, plus they was willing to offer 2 of their players to get Paul Pogba. So reportedly they was willing to offer Adrian Rabiot and Aaron Ramsey as part of the deal. This is what, they was willing to do. But Paul Pogba, I think, now is heading into his final year of his contract at Manchester United. Man United, of course, do have an option to extend it by a further year. Obviously as well, it wasn't only in January, and last summer that Paul Pogba was subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. He was also subjected to a lot of transfer speculation under Jose Mourinho, because he enjoyed a really bad relationship with Jose Mourinho, did Pogba. I think the mistake Manchester United did actually make was getting rid of Paul Pogba when he was younger, because he progressed up the ranks with Lee Harvey. Then we got him in under Alex Ferguson, made a couple of appearances, but due to limited appearances, Manchester United let Paul Pogba go on a free transfer. He is now, 26, 27 years of age, and he has still got a lot of development in him. And he's still a very imperative player, is Paul Pogba. In total for the club though, since he rejoined, he has made 150 appearances in all competitions and scored 31 goals. So now maybe Paul Pogba will not play for the football club again, but Solsjkaer said he is unsure about this. But he is, working, to get him his fitness rate. He's stepping up his fitness regime, which is good. But, want to get Paul Pogba back in action, because we'll look much better in that midfield, when he does come back. So that's the latest news regarding Paul Pogba. Now I'm going to delve into the topic regarding Ighalo. Now, I do presume that Ighalo will be making his debut tonight against Chelsea. Obviously I give him my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference building up to the game, and he did say that Ighalo will be involved, and he said he will travel with the squad, to London. But he failed to say, whether Ighalo will be making his debut. He may not start tonight, Ighalo, but, I think he will play some parts of the game if he doesn't start. Now, Solskjaer has reportedly told Ighalo if he can hit the ground running, then he may, we may make the transfer permanent for Ighalo, because we have got him in on loan. We've paid around 3 or 4 million to get him in on loan, and we like paying a third of his wages. But I do believe Ighalo will get given his chances at Manchester United. It's a 6-month loan. Like I mentioned, he's an experienced player. He's a lifelong Manchester United fan. He's already played in the Premier League, because he did endure 3 years with Watford. Don't forget, he did endure 3 years with Watford, did Ighalo. And I think he played around 3 times against Man United during his time with Watford. He scored 39 goals in 99 games for Watford in all competitions, did Ighalo. So, if he does well, we may make his transfer permanent. I think he's around, 30 or 31 years of age. I think he's a very good cover-up for Marcus Rashford. Of course, Marcus Rashford's out with a back injury for at least the next couple of months. And obviously, he is a big misses, Rashford, because Rashford has been one of our best players this season. But, could be back in the next couple of months. And I also think Ighalo is a good cover-up, is a good alternative to Martial. We need to put Ighalo in that number 9, because I think Ighalo is an out-and-out number 9 anywhere. And, we need to either drop Martial completely, or we need to, revert him back to the left-hand side, because that's Martial's predominant position anywhere, is that left-hand side. In the 4 seasons, well, this is his 5th season now, but in the 4 previous seasons, he has been playing on that left-hand side. It's only been this season Martial has been playing in that number 9 role, and he has received a lot of criticism reflecting on his bad run of performances, Anthony Martial. But, he has been a long-serving player here. But if he continues with his bad run of performances, I think, maybe he's one of the players that does need to be moved on in the summer transfer window. So, that's the latest news now regarding Ighalo. So, we'll delve now into, tonight's game between Chelsea and Manchester United. You saw my preview the other day for the game. I also give you my starting 11 prediction. I did say, didn't I, it's going to be interesting to see how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer approaches this game against Chelsea. It is a must-win game for Manchester United if we are to keep our top 4 ambitions alive. We know now, obviously, 5th place is a Champions League spot, reflecting on Man City's ban from the Champions League for the next 2 seasons. But, it would be still nice for us, to finish in the top 4. So revert back to what I said, it's a must-win game. We beat Chelsea tonight, we are only 3 points behind them. On the other hand, if Chelsea win, Chelsea will be 9 points in front of Manchester United and that. So it is a must-win game for Man United. And we've got to get back to winning ways in the Premier League anyway, because we are winless in our last 3 Premier League games. And, we haven't even scored in our last 3 Premier League games. On the other hand, Chelsea have been very inconsistent this season. I think Chelsea will win the game tonight. I do think they will win the game tonight. We've got a very bad record at Stamford Bridge in the Premier League. We haven't beaten Chelsea at Stamford Bridge in the Premier League since 2012, and that is like 8 years ago now. So that just indicates how much of a bad record we have got at Stamford Bridge. But on the other hand, since Solskjaer, came into Manchester United as manager, we are unbeaten against Chelsea. I think Solskjaer has beaten Chelsea 3 times as a manager so far, and we've beaten them twice already this season. We beat them early on in the season, 2-1 in the Carabao Cup. We beat them. Rashford had scored a wonderful free kick in that game. We beat them 4-0 on the opening day of the Premier League season. Rashford had also scored twice in that game. So and last season we beat them 2-0 at Stamford Bridge in the FA Cup. So we're looking to beat Chelsea for the 3rd time this season. This is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Frank Lampard's 3rd meeting as managers, and Solskjaer has already overcome Frank Lampard twice, so he's looking to beat Frank Lampard 3 times. He's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as manager. But it is going to be a very, very interesting game. And, these similarities, between Solskjaer and Frank Lampard as managers, obviously you've got Frank Lampard, that's in his 1st season at Chelsea. You've got Solskjaer, that's in his, 1st full season at Manchester United. And obviously, they are both inexperienced managers. Lampard's very inexperienced as a manager. He only began his managerial career last season with Derby, progressed them to the playoff final. Obviously, as well, he's inexperienced as a manager, but I think as a player, Lampard was very, very good. He endured 13 years at Chelsea as a player and scored 211 goals, so he's their all-time leading goal scorer. And also, same perception on Solskjaer. He was also a very, very good player for Manchester United because he endured 11 years with the football club. But again, Solskjaer is too inexperienced as a manager. Chelsea, I think I've got quite a few injuries. I think recently, Tammy Abraham's just come back for them. I think Olivier Giroud recently come back. Marco Alonso was injured earlier on this season. Chelsea will be hopeful that Christian Pulisic will be available. They've also got Marco Van Ginkel out. Reece James has just recently come back for them. So Chelsea have had quite a few injuries. Chelsea did sign Hakim Ziyech from Ajax for around 33 or was it 34 million pounds. That's Frank Lampard's 1st signing as Chelsea manager. He will be joining Chelsea in the summer. My own perception on that is it's a very good signing for Chelsea. Chelsea, I think, in the summer as well, probably will consider getting rid of more players, definitely in that. But that's a very, very good signing for Chelsea. But Chelsea are looking to make further more investment in their squad. Solskjaer, by the way, did provide us with some news regarding McTominay, Tuanzebe and Fosu Mensah. None of them are going to be available for this game, despite the fact that McTominay was part of the warm weather training camp in Spain, Marbella. So too was Tuanzebe and Fosu Mensah, and that trio have been stepping up their fitness regime, but they are not available for this game tonight. When McTominay does come back, we'll look better in that midfield, because I thought before McTominay got injured, he did really, really well, to be fair. And, Tuanzebe did well in the games he's played in this season. And, Fosu Mensah, it'd be good to see him, when he comes back. Eric Bailly is now back, but since he's come back from injury, Eric Bailly, of course, has not played in that. But yeah, really, really looking forward to the game tonight. And like I've mentioned, Chelsea have sacked a lot of managers in a short period of time. Obviously, they sacked Maurizio Sarri at the end of last season, despite the fact, Maurizio Sarri, won the Europa League with Chelsea. That meant they got automatic qualification for the Champions League. Also, he progressed them to the League Cup final, but he only enjoyed 1 season with Chelsea. Now, of course, he's back in Italy. He's now with Juventus and he's under pressure there. Obviously they sacked Antonio Conte. Despite the fact he won the Premier League in his 1st season, Chelsea shouldn't have got rid of him. They had Gus Higgins, they got rid of him. Di Matteo, they got rid of him. They had Jose Mourinho. He endured 2 spells with Chelsea, won like 3 Premier Leagues with them. The main explanation why Chelsea sacked him is because obviously it was something to do with the club doctor. And obviously they got rid of Villas-Boas, despite the fact Chelsea won the Champions League under him. Chelsea have only won 1 Champions League. They got rid of Rafa Benitez. They got rid of, Avram Grant, Scarari, Carlo Ancelotti. despite the fact he won the double with Chelsea back in 2009 and 2010. So yeah, Chelsea have sacked a lot of managers in a short period of time. I think they've sacked more managers than Man United in the last, 5 or 6 years, is it? We've sacked 3 managers since the Alex Ferguson era. Of course, we sacked David Moyes after 8, 9 or 10 months or something like that. Ferguson, made the mistake ever recommending David Moyes in. He made the mistake, did Alex Ferguson, ever recommending David Moyes in. The main explanation why I recommended him in is because, there was both Scottish, but we knew he wasn't ever going to be the right man, David Moyes. So he went. Louis van Gaal went because his philosophy wasn't right for the club and the football was turgid. He did win the FA Cup with us though. He went just after the year, I think. And Jose Mourinho went after he endured 2.5 years at Manchester United. Mourinho did win, the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season and got a second place in his first season, but didn't work out for him at Manchester United. And now Solsjkaer is our 4th permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era and that. But I think Solskjaer will be sacked for Manchester United, very, very soon. So when he's sacked, he will be the 4th manager to be sacked since the Alex Ferguson era and that. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer approaches this game tonight. I do believe as well that Bruno Fernandes will be making his 2nd appearance for the club. Because I thought he did really, really well on his debut against Wolves before the winter break. Had the most touches in the first half, also created the most chances. The only element of concern I've got about it is the usage of the player. Is Solskjaer going to keep him in his predominant position? We need to keep Fernandes in his predominant position. We can't put him as a holding midfielder because that's when, Bruno Fernandes could become a liability, definitely in that. But he'll probably make a couple of changes from the 0-0 draw against Wolves before the winter break. Before the winter break. But I think, Solskjaer, will be gone very, very soon and that. Obviously, Solskjaer has been at Manchester United now for 14 months. So he has been here over the year and he has got many expectations to exceed. And I just think the expectations are too high for him at Manchester United. He did reveal at the beginning of the year that it is a transition period and he's hopeful, that we can get through this transition period and that. And he's been permanent Manchester United manager for around 11 months now. And like I said, he was lucky to ever get the job in the first place as the interim manager. We only give him the job permanently, reflecting on what he did when he was the interim manager, because he did enjoy 3 good months with Manchester United, Solskjaer. But I think, we did give him the job too soon. He has got 2.5 years left on his current deal at the football club. Now, the Glazers have come out and, they've basically said that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be sacked on one condition, and that's if Manchester United fail to get any European football. But some United fans do believe even if Man United were to finish within the top 6 this season and we were, to get European football, Solskjaer will still be sacked as Manchester United manager. We have enjoyed our worst start to a Premier League season since 1989. That's 30 years ago now. Since Solskjaer got the job on a permanent basis, we have lost more games in the Premier League than we've won. So his record is definitely not disastrous. And I thought Solskjaer was a great player for us for 11 years. Very, very good player. But I just think as a manager, he is totally a comparison in that. And he is not the long-term solution for Manchester United. Like I mentioned, there's not only problems with the management at the club. There's not only problems with the management. I don't like the way the football club's been run in the last 6 or 7 years. Obviously a lot of United fans have got doubts about, the executive chairman, Ed Woodward. They've also got doubts about the club's ownership. We've also, got a lot of element of concerns about the board, because our board have been a liability for several years, and we need to see a variety of changes at the football club and that, definitely. And, there's a 75% chance Solskjaer will be sacked by Manchester United at the end of the season, but there's also a 25% chance Solskjaer will be given another season at Manchester United. Of course, Solskjaer has recommended 5 new additions to the squad in 3 transfer windows since he got recommended in. Last summer, he recommended Daniel James in for 15 million. He recommended Wan-Bissaka in for 50 million. And he recommended Harry Maguire in for £80 million. And in the January transfer window, he recommended Bruno Fernandes in for £68 million, and he recommended Odi and Ighalo in. But definitely no more investment is needed at Manchester United, and Man United are already making plans for the summer transfer window. Don't forget, recently, Ed Woodward came out and he wrote a fans forum, and he says he will be back in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with more transfers in the summer. I was reading recent reports, and it did say Solskjaer's going to get around £274 million to spend this summer and that, and he's already spent over 200 million. I think it's around 220 million he has invested into the club, since he did get recommended in, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and that. But there is still deficiencies in the squad that need to be addressed. I think we need at least one striker. We need a right winger. We need a left back, because Luke Shaw's being very inconsistent and he's very injury prone. He's Luke Shaw. And he's experienced though, and Solskjaer may go with Luke Shaw on that. We've got Brandon Williams now, that's our first choice left back. But he's only in his first season in the senior squad. He's Brandon Williams, so you can say Brandon Williams is too inexperienced. Possibly we need a centre half. I know Lindelof's good, but maybe we need someone on Harry Maguire's level. And then obviously if we can get a centre half in, then obviously we can use Lindelof as a backup, because we have got a lot of centre halves in the team, to be honest with you. And I think we need at least one midfielder. So yeah, we've got to address the deficiencies in the squad. And it's good that we've addressed some of the problematic areas, but there's still more areas in the squad that do need to be addressed. And Man United are going to spend a substantial amount this summer on recruiting new players. I think Solskjaer has revealed he wants to bring 3 to 5 players in the summer transfer window. As you all know, the players that we've got on our agenda, obviously Jadon Sancho, Maddison, Grealish. I'd love Manchester United to sign all of them in the summer transfer window. They'd cost us in the excess of around £280 million, them 3 players. Jadon Sancho will cost us around £120 million, and James Maddison and Jack Grealish will probably cost us around £160 million. But we'd see Grealish and Maddison as the adequate replacement, for Paul Pogba basically in that. But Maddison and Grealish, would dramatically improve our midfield a lot. Definitely improve our midfield. But, if we can get Champions League football secured, then we've got more chance of attracting players to the elite level. But Solskjaer came out and says even if we don't get any European football, he says, we can still attract players to the elite level and that. This is, what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had currently said. More players need to go in the summer as well. I think Solskjaer's confirmed there will be more departures in the summer. I think we'll probably get rid of around 4 or 5 players in the summer. I expect probably Jones to go in the summer. Well, I want him to go. I want Matic to go because he's too much of a liability. He'll probably be playing tonight. He's just recently come back from suspension, Matic. I think we also need to get rid of Lingard. Too much of a liability. Pereira, liability. I think Pereira's only been playing a lot this season, due to the injuries, that McTominay's had. As soon as McTominay's back, I don't think, Pereira will play that much. I think, Chong, get rid of him. Luke Shaw, get rid of him. Martial continues with his bad run of performances, get rid of him. So yeah, I do expect to see more departures in the summer transfer window. Around 9 senior players have left though, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival. This year we saw Ashley Young go to Inter Milan for 1.5 million after he endured 8.5 years at the club. We saw Marcus Rojo go out on loan to Estudiantes, so he's returned to Argentina. Obviously as well, last summer, we saw Smalling go out on loan to Roma after he endured 9 years at Man United. We saw Darmian go last summer. We saw Herrera go on a free transfer to PSG last summer. It was a mistake by Manchester United getting rid of Ander Herrera because I thought he was one of our best players since the Alex Ferguson era. And it infuriated me that, we let him go on a free transfer and let his contract run down. Fellaini went in January 2019 and we let Lukaku and Sanchez go as well. And that was another mistake by Man United, letting Lukaku go. Lukaku endured 2 years at Man United. It was a mistake letting him go. I was happy with the money we generated from his departure, but we made a mistake letting him go. Sanchez, I'm relieved that he's not going to be coming back to Man United in the summer. Despite that, Solskjaer did say last month that Sanchez, would have been, coming back, to prove everybody wrong. But I'm glad he's not coming back. Sanchez is on loan with Inter Milan, but despite that, we're still paying the vast majority of his wages. So take that into account and that. And, you've got Dean Henson, that's out on loan at the moment with Sheffield United. He comes back to Manchester United after his loan spell. I think we will make him our number one goalkeeper. De Gea's been our number one goalkeeper for quite some time, but De Gea is becoming a liability now. De Gea now is into his 9th season at Man United, so he's been a long servant here. I think he's had a good 6.5, 7 years out of the 8 years he's been here. But I think at least in the last year or so, David De Gea, has not been up to it. So I take that into account and that. But more players will leave Man United. Solsjkaer, gets sacked. I think it's very, very likely that Massimiliano Allegri will be our next manager, definitely. I don't see us now getting Pochettino. Obviously, before City's ban from the Champions League occurred, it was looking likely we was going to get Pochettino because he did say he was interested in taking over. But now it's likely that Pep Guardiola will leave Man City in the summer, and now Pep Guardiola is emerged as the favourite to go and take over at Man City. So we may now go and get Massimiliano Allegri, because reports were coming out from the Italian press saying that we're in pole position to recommend him in. He's interested in taking over at Manchester United, Allegri. Obviously, PSG, AC Milan have been in for him. Also, there's been talks about him going back to Juventus, but I don't see that currently happening. So it's likely, if we sack Solskjaer, Massimiliano Allegri, will be our next manager, definitely in that. And more of that, he will be. And Man United have spent a hell of a lot of money in the last 6 or 7 years. We spent nearly £1 billion, or is it £1 billion we spent, since the Alex Ferguson era? And that's disregarding what we spent under Alex Ferguson. We spent £65 million under David Moyes. Or was it 67 million, sorry. He brought Fellaini and Juan Mata in. Mata is still here. We spent 258 million under Louis van Gaal. He brought the likes of Falcao, Schneiderlin, Schweinsteiger, Blind, Memphis Depay, and all of them players, Di Maria. And there's still some players here now from the Louis van Gaal era. So Louis van Gaal brought players in. He also let a lot of players go. Also, we spent, was it 400 million or just under 400 million under Mourinho? The vast majority of these players, are Jose Mourinho, so Solskjaer's inheriting the vast majority of them, so take that into account. And like I mentioned, we spent over 200 million since Solskjaer's come in, and we have got the highest wage bill in the Premier League and that. And so we'll spend a lot of money this summer, we will. Obviously, we've generated some funds anyway from some of the players that left last summer. More players are expected to leave this summer, so we're going to generate some funds for some of their departures as well. But really looking forward to the game tonight. My match reaction will be coming up. If it isn't tonight, I'll do the match reaction. It will be tomorrow morning. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again soon.